Welcome to the Car Guys, and this week an extreme machine that I've been dying to get my hands on. This, your eyes do not deceive you, is a Land Rover, but it's not just any Land Rover. Oh no, this, my friends, is the Apocalypse Defender. Now, depending on your point of view, this is either the most extreme customised Land Rover that you have ever seen, or it's the perfect off-road vehicle to travel and take the nuclear football across America to prevent World War III. Or it's the perfect zombie escape vehicle. Either way, Millennium Heroes has given it to me for the day. I'm going to go through every aspect of this incredible extreme machine, and you're coming along for the ride. This, my friends, is the Apocalypse Defender, quite the most extreme and outrageous custom Land Rover Defender that I, and perhaps you, have ever seen. This whole vehicle has been pumped up harder than Stallone in Rocky IV. You've got vents and bulges everywhere, you've got optional grills, you've got roll bars, you've got extra roo bars, you've got a light bar on the top, which I'm told is brighter than the sun, and it's got a special name too. This one is called Bruce. Now, there's a lot of speculation over where the name Bruce comes from. Some say it's from Bruce McLaren, but for me, personally, I think it's named after Bruce the shark in Jaws. So what we're going to do today is go through a complete tour of this vehicle, all those crazy upgrades that have been made. We're going to do a full walk around, and then we're going to take it for a drive. That sounds good to you? Excellent. Let's get on with it. First things first, and obviously on the roof we've got a full rack, which at the moment has got not only an emergency pickaxe, let's face it, everyone needs one of those, and also 4 20-litre reserve fuel cans, which again are very necessary for this vehicle. But we better get this tour done pretty quickly because I sense that the apocalypse is coming. As we walk around the car, let me tell you a little bit about what's been done to it. The traditional Corus grey metallic paint, I think, goes really well with all the black detailing and wheels. You've obviously got a branded front bull bar, half cage, and I really like the diamond plate panels. It's also got uprated suspension, and one of the most significant changes is the vented and bulged bonnet. This acts as an extra inlet to feed that monstrous V8. This, my friends, is a 4.2 litre supercharged Range Rover V8 engine. It was installed by RR London at a cost of almost £20,000. It's connected to a modified 6-speed manual gearbox, performance clutch and lightweight flywheel. And what sort of brake horsepower does that put out? 390. 0 to 60 for this Goliath takes under 8 seconds. Wider arches, obviously, and big old knobbly BF Goodrich 18-inch wheels. Now here's where it gets exciting and quite dangerous, because this car has got side exit exhausts, big ones, and they really work. We are talking flames shooting out of the side of this vehicle, presumably to get rid of the zombies. In the back, we've got an additional 2 seats to turn it into a full 7-seater, and also we've got one of this car's bespoke options, which is a fitted gun cabinet. These two slide out, you can see here, really nice long one there for your shotguns, and another one here for ammo and handguns, obviously. This Landy is a 2012 car in Corus grey. It was originally sold as a Defender 110 XS utility. The third owner embarked on an ambitious and ridiculously costly series of major upgrades with a number of specialists, including Twisted, Auto Audio, Ozcraft and RR London. In all, the upgrades for this vehicle total £120,000. Money no object, no idea too dangerous or too outlandish. And you've got to applaud that level of nuts. Now, I'm sure we can all agree that this is the ultimate apocalypse survival vehicle. I mean, just look at it. The list of expensive options and custom parts for this vehicle is mind-blowing. If you don't believe me, check this out. See what I mean? Now, the interior of the Apocalypse Defender is as extreme as the exterior, I'm pleased to say, because apparently it cost nearly £30,000. The previous owner has gone for, and I'm not joking, black alligator interior all round with red stitching. You've got custom parts all over the place, not least all of these beautiful and functional red switches, which makes it look like you're in a F-15 fighter, a Momo steering wheel, racing seats. The entire thing has been reupholstered. The roof is all quilted. You've also got a full fridge here in the center console. And not forgetting this vehicle's absolute party piece. In place of the standard manual gear stick, we have, I shit you not, the controls from an Apache gunship helicopter. The real controls. These are real, and the controls on it all work. They are functional. You can control the horn from this. You can control the light bar on the roof. It is the most incredible feature that I have ever seen added to a vehicle. And isn't it just appropriate that it's added to something as extreme as this? Without a shadow of a doubt, ladies and gentlemen, this is the most ludicrously, extremely wonderful Defender I have ever seen. When you look at the digital instruments, the most important one in this car is to the right, and it's the fuel indicator. I don't think I've ever seen an interior of a vehicle that's more like Nicolas Cage than this one. This is wild at heart. This is Face Off. Right, the reason I'm sweating, viewers, is because I've just been out for a run in this car just to get used to it, and it's frankly terrified me. So let's see how we get on now. Oh, right. Well, that's a very, yeah, you can immediately sense there's quite a lot of power beneath my right foot. Obviously, changing gear with an Apache helicopter control is going to be an interesting experience. I've got lots of switches and lights. I've got a digital display ahead of me, which is saying that we're idling at about 680 revs. So into gear, handbrake is off. Wow. Okay, it's a bit kangaroo-y to start. Oh, listen to it. Into third. It feels like a big Defender, as it should, so I'm sat up high. It's very agricultural. There's a lot of movement, but the steering rack is clearly a lot more sporty. And let's see what happens when we put our foot down. Oh! Jesus Christ! Right, this is... I think I may have made a mistake getting into this, because this is clearly some form of nuclear weapon. Oh, this is an engine built by the Orcs of Mordor. Oh, it's very strange changing with this Apache gear stick, as we're now going to call it. So this is most definitely one of the more curious vehicles that you will find at the Millennium Heroes / Octane collection. Well, it's running quite rich, so you really have to boot it in order to get it moving. Oh my goodness, and the last thing you want to do, frankly, is boot it. Here we go. I mean, I'm frankly hanging on for dear life here. It really does not corner very well. We were not going very fast then, and it struggled to get around there. This is most definitely a destroyer of worlds, but not because it's a potent weapon, just because it's out of control all the time. Oh, we got change-up lights, ladies and gentlemen. There are change-up lights. Oh, there's a terrific whine from the supercharger as well. Can you hear that whine? Oh, let's see what it's like to stop. Now, brakes are, to be fair, the brakes are pretty good. It's just that the chassis, the extremely primitive chassis, cannot cope with all this power. I mean, I know that the normal Defender 110 is, you know, a bit of a pig to drive, but this just turns all of those pickiness things up to 11. I'm sure the owner of this car enjoys it, but I have to say, driving it is quite unpleasant. It is the absolute definition of animal, because we've got enormous knobbly tyres, a lot of power and torque, a lot of noise. This is a weapon of war. I sort of feel like I'm driving a siege engine. Bloody hell, that was close. Jesus. This thing bucks around a lot. I mean, I would say I'd give it the beans, but I mean, you can't not give it the beans. You're giving the beans as soon as you move off. This is four-wheel drive? Really? I'm absolutely sweating buckets. I've managed to find the aircon, but listen to that. So what does a 4.2 litre supercharged V8 Land Rover Defender with tons and tons and tons of mods feel like? Well, it feels terrifying. I know the suspension's been uprated, but I really can't really tell that much because it still wallows around all over the place. I think we almost got 5 miles to the gallon then. Woohoo! Eco mode. I mean, this was one man's passion project, and I suppose you've got to admire that, but I don't half think that really there are probably better ways to spend £120,000 on top of the price of the 110 Defender to start with. The fact that this interior costs nearly £30,000, I mean, they say some people have more money than sense, and in fact, some people say that about me, but I'm not sure I'm crazy enough to do this. Oh, just pitch into the corner. It really starts to wallow. I sort of get the feeling that if I really boot it in the corners, we might be able to get a sort of four-wheel drift. Should we try that? No, stop it, Damien, stop it. Think sensibly. You do not want to flip this thing upside down. Oh, definitely lack of traction there. God, blimey. This is really horrible to drive. And you can seat 7, so 7 people can go through this. This is the sort of thing that you need about 120 acres of your own land, and you buy this and you just tool around without fear of hitting anything. I'm sort of getting a bit worried because the more I stay in this interior, the more I sort of kind of like it. But the thing you have to remember is, this wasn't built for finesse. This wasn't built for comfort. It was built for getting away from the apocalypse, for smashing through hordes of zombies, setting fire to them with your side exit exhausts whilst firing shotguns out of the window. That's what this is for, and in that role, I have to say, it's probably quite effective because nothing is going to stop you. Ready for some beans? Here we go, straighten it up. Listen to it, it's the end of the world. Oh my goodness, listen to it. So bonkers, it's almost good. Right, okay, let's calm things down a little bit. Let's think about this objectively. So, what do I like about this Apocalypse Defender? I love all the exterior mods. I think it looks mean as hell. I think it's just a fantastically menacing road presence. I do like the fact there's an Apache gunship controller in here. It's not the nicest thing to change gears with, but I do applaud the fact that it's at least different. I think the noise is very addictive, and the fact that it actually shoots flames out of the side is wonderful. I wouldn't want to be a pedestrian, and I like the fact it's got a gun cabinet in the back. What do I not like? Well, it doesn't drive great, if I'm being honest. Handling is compromised. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, and that is no more the case than in this. So it's a real handful to drive. Obviously the interior is pretty horrendous. I mean, I'm not sure anyone can defend Black Alligator really in 2021, but oh, as a despoiler of planets, there are few vehicles better than this. If you want to rip up the ozone layer, if you want to flatten the rainforests, and if you want to create all of the world's greenhouse gases in one magnificent accelerator pedal press, this is the car for you. But I warn you, you will get nothing but hate from people outside the car. I think it's time to take this back to the Octane Collection Millennium Heroes, give back the keys as quickly as possible, and then perhaps do a summary. So that's it, I've made it back alive, and frankly, this vehicle terrifies me. When I was looking around it and looking at all the features, I was getting quite excited about it, but driving it is something else. This is a fearsome machine. It's like taking a starring role in Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds. This thing is fire and brimstone, it's edge of the seat stuff, all the cliches you can think of. This is it. Is it an absolute financial folly? Of course it is. There's no way this car is worth all the money that's been invested in it. The fact that it's been made at all is probably very silly, but you can't help but applaud that. I love ludicrous, expensive failures, and this is certainly one of those. However, if you're actually in the mood for probably the most outrageous Land Rover Defender that has ever been created by man, this is it. There's nothing crazier than this. Forget your Spectre Defenders, forget your Tomb Raider ones. This is the real deal. So if you fancy a real end-of-the-world apocalypse machine, this, my friends, is it. Am I going to buy it? Absolutely not. What the hell do you think I am? Crazy? Thanks for watching this episode on The Car Guys. If you like what we're doing, please subscribe, leave comments and likes. There'll be another episode along next week.